Alright guys, before we hit the road today, I thought it would be fun and useful to show you what it's like to rent a camper van in New Zealand, and more specifically showing you the sort of facilities you're likely to get in a rental camper van when hiring one in New Zealand specifically. And to show you that, we have Travelers Autobahn based in New Zealand, which is going to be our example camper van for today. So let's take a look around. Alright, as you can see, you have a nice spacious living area which doubles up as your sort of dining area, seating area with a table, and it also doubles up as your bedding area. Now this camper van, along with quite a lot of sort of high top rental camper vans like this one, they'll have another bedding area which is just above us. But right now, just having a look at more the sort of dining area, you have a table which I'll just try and show you guys. It all unhooks here, you twizzle it around, you have a pole there, which once you take the table down, you take the pole off, you can store the pole inside these bits at the, well, basically this storage that you can store it in. I'll go and show you what the storage is like. So yeah, underneath the cushion areas, you have all your storage. There's usually one section of the camper van that is especially for the sort of essential storage for the camper van itself, like the essential amenities that you will need. So I'll give you a quick point in there. So what we have in here is we have different tubing. We have different tubing for when you want to get rid of your wastewater, there's a tube for that. When you want to fill your water with clean water, you have a tube for that. And also we have some extra boards in here, because when you put the boards in the middle, which I'll show you in a second, that's when you can create sort of the long area for your extra cushions and extra bedding to go on. So I will show you that in just a second. Bear with, guys. So here's just one of the boards that you put down. So just, yeah, imagine you've got several of these boards on here, and then from there you can fill up the padding. I think it goes this way. You fill up the rest of your bed with the padding that also makes up your sofa area. So yeah, setting up your whole living space is made real easy. They're just falling down all over the place. So yeah, setting up your bedding area is really easy, and your seating area is really easy. So that's just the one storage area here, but as you can see, for your own luggage, you'll want to have spacious areas for that. So if you can just see, you've got like a bit here, there's more parts over on the other side. Sorry, bit of a wonky camera. So there's also storage like all the way under the seating area, so you have plenty of space for suitcases, backpacks. I would say it looks like it would be better if you had like large backpacks, would be easier to handle, or more like carry-on suitcases. I'm not sure if, usually that's what we use, but if you have a really large check-in suitcase that might be a little bit outside of the usual limit, then like for your flight, then maybe that might be a hard to squeeze in there. But yeah, certainly for large backpacks, and when you're getting all your groceries and stuff, there's loads of storage for that. So that's the main thing. Now let's take a look at where you use those pipings that I showed you for the wastewater and the clean water. So the thing you'll need to note about, especially if you are camping not in a holiday park, if you're camping perhaps in a sort of standard campsite or freedom camping, then you will be using your own water supply within the camper van itself. And then once you have used it, usually it contains enough, you can fill up the tanks for at least 3 days worth of water. And yeah, and the wastewater is enough for about 3 days of wastewater as well. So usually every 3 days that you've been off the grid, you'll need to empty your wastewater and refill your clean water. So to do that, you have a nice handy pipe just here for your wastewater. So they'll show you on, when you go and get your rental camper van, they'll show you how to untie all that, for example. And then you have your clean water, here it is. Your clean water, where you just put the hose that is in the storage over there, you just put your hose into there and fill it up. Pretty simple. The next thing you need to know about is your kitchen space and what is cooking like in a camper van. So first of all, you will be having a bit of a gas bottle in here. So when they give you the gas bottle, they should already have it set up so that you can use it straight away, like it's all turned on so that your appliances will work. So that should be all good when you do hire a camper van. They usually have a key for locking that. Not that people are really going to steal that in New Zealand, but just so you know, that's usually a key included on your rental car keys to open that itself. And then kitchen. Yeah, and then we have your gas stove. Like, so most camper van rentals in New Zealand, they will have some sort of like gas hobs or gas stoves. Now, the thing to bear in mind in this, although they do have sparks to start the gas stove, it is kind of better to have your own lighter or matches, because the sparks often, you know, the camper vans, if they're used quite a lot, their sparks might not work as efficiently anymore. So we recommend once you arrive in New Zealand, or because you certainly can't pack lighters and stuff like that in your carry-on or anything, so you can, I think you can tend to pack it in your, I'm not sure if you can pack lighters to New Zealand. Ooh, double check that one. But yeah, once you arrive in New Zealand, it's best to, you know, when you go and do your grocery shop, just get yourself a lighter or some matches as well, just if you plan on using your hob quite a lot. So that uses off, that's basically off the gas burner, so you don't need to be connected to the electricity or anything for that. But speaking of electricity, there are two ways that you can be powered with electricity in a rental camper van in New Zealand. One is where you're actually plugged to the mains in campsites. So campsites will have their own like sort of power sites, and you'll be able to plug your camper van wire into there, which is also included in this camper van rental. With all the stuff that I showed you just there, I just don't have enough hands to show you that, but I'll show you where you plug it in on the outside. So that plugs in up here. So you have, as you can see, somewhere to plug in the, you'll have like a proper camping wire that comes off there, and that plugs into the mains within your holiday park, within your powered site that it's called. So that's one way that you plug up to the electricity, and once you're plugged up there, you can use things like the microwave, like things that tend to use a bit more power, and you'll be also be able to use the, you know, your mains power that you would usually get in buildings in New Zealand. Usually when they give you electricity, you know, you just leave the switch up. You don't usually mess with this, but if you do have any electrical faults, then you usually just need to flick the switch back up. So that's one way you get electricity, and then the other way you get electricity is through the battery of the camper van itself. Now when you plug into a holiday home, that automatically charges, well, a holiday home, sorry. When you plug into a camper van powered site, that will charge the battery for you, and then that allows you to use some power when you're actually on the road and you're not connected to the mains. So it uses 12 volts, so there are 12 volt kind of just the same as the car chargers or the cigarette lighters. And handy, some camper van rental companies like Travelers Autobahn have USB slots already there in the 12 volts, so you can charge while you're on the go.
That's my favorite feature.
Yeah.
Are we doing a road trip or what? Or are you still doing your tour?
Soon, still doing my tour. I'm just on the basically the electricity, the batteries.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we talked about our clean water just before. So obviously you have your sink where your nice clean water is coming out and it's going into a waste tank, and that is where we show you where you basically eject the waste at your camper van, or a dump station as they are more known in New Zealand. Now let's take a look at some more things that are often included in your camper van rental. So, just for anyone that doesn't know how these, if you've never been in a camper van rental before, just need to push those to open it. sometimes maybe if it's your first time, you're like, how do I open these cupboards? So yeah, usually you get all the crockery and things included. Do make sure that you double check with your campervan rental company that everything is included. And usually, like, good people like Travelers Autobahn will include teas and coffees in their kit of all the crockery and kitchenware that you need. So yeah, you don't need to pack anything extra. Oh, and actually they've included some matches. So what I was saying earlier, just double check with your campervan rental company if they include matches or lighters for doing the stove, because maybe the sparks don't always work. Okay, nice storage in there. But also, yeah, as you can see, it was all quite loose in there, so be careful when you're driving and when you're storing stuff back in there. You want things to be quite stable. So I can tell you right now, those glasses there are going to be sliding all over the place if you're driving on any sort of bumpy roads. So just be aware of that when you're storing things back, and you don't want to accidentally break anything, because the rental company will probably not like that. Okay, so let's look at the top bit. Robin, can you unclip all these?
Ta 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 ta!
Where were you before when I was trying to struggle to open up these bottom boxes by myself?
I was organising a road trip.
Yeah.
Okay.
So up here we have an extra bed, so that if you were planning to sleep an extra person, I think campervans of this size usually sleep about 3 at the most, sometimes 4 if there's a child or something. So this whole bed would fold out, so you have...
So yeah, basically you have the slats right here, and they will go on that rail right here. So you have 1, 2, 3 slats, and you put the mattress on top of it, and you could have a couple sleeping here.
Yeah.
Just that 4 people in one campervan like that gets really hot, so we usually say 3, but it definitely will fit 4 people. And at that point, you will not use that for storage. You will use that section over there for storage, which
yeah, so there's actually more storage, not just under the seats, but you have more storage up here as well. So there really is like a lot if you are quite a few people, and also good to store groceries and things. It's always, yeah, there's a lot of storage involved, especially with this campervan from Travelers Autobahn. So,
what you saw me through was all the sleeping bags included, but there's also pillows, there's towels, there's quite a bunch of stuff in there as well.
Yeah, so different campervan companies will either provide duvets, or they'll provide sleeping bags, or they may charge extra to provide sleeping equipment. So double check that when you are comparing campervan rentals. Now, finally, let's take a look at the front, where we can show you more the driving aspects of the rental campervan. So follow me. All right. So the thing to note about most campervan rentals, we'll go from this side. So the thing to know about most campervan rentals in New Zealand is that most vehicles are automatic. So that makes driving pretty easy. If you struggle with the manual, however, it is best to actually say to your campervan rental provider, like, I like to take an automatic, just in case they do give you manual. But you will find that most campervan rentals do have, that was loud. Most campervan rentals do have manual driving, so that makes driving very easy.
Automatic driving.
Automatic, sorry.
There you go.
And yeah, they remember the road rules, keep left. They'll remind you that a lot. And then, yeah, usually quite a modern sort of music system. You have your AC, very easy to use. This is very standard in most vehicles. And
the one thing you need to show people is the handbrake. It's always slightly bit different. And in the car, it's one of the things that you have to pull, twist, and push back. You know, so it's kind of like a big lever. And Laura is going to show you that right now. It's one thing that tricks a lot of people for the first maybe, let's say, 2 days of your campervan trip. Not too long. After that, you're good. But yeah, for the first 2 days, that.
Yeah, so let's have a look. This right here, just remember this is your handbrake. So it says literally says the instructions on the handbrake. So press button and turn, and then you'd have to pull it out, and that is basically your handbrake. So that's the thing that's a little bit different with these campervans. But yeah, electric windows typically, air conditioning. And one extra thing is the lighting. I didn't go over the lighting on the inside in your living area.
And, yeah, you get an LED lighting. So here you go, I'll show you guys. Boom, that's the light. Press on the button, it's off. And then you have also night lights. If you do want to enjoy the night sky, you can just keep it kind of not too bright and don't destroy your eyesight. But here you go, boom, we are night light mode.
I just remembered one more thing I haven't shown you guys, which is pretty important if you want to be doing freedom camping in New Zealand. You
Is that the grey and black water?
I've done that one. That's the first aspect of it. The second aspect is having a toilet within your camper van.
Oh yeah.
So let's have a look at, in this one we have a porta potty. Ta-da! So this is your loo, and basically there's usually like chemicals and stuff to clean this. If you stay in normal campsites, sometimes there's toilets on site, but you do need to have one of these if you want to be doing freedom camping in New Zealand, because otherwise it is illegal to do it without it. So yeah, bear that in mind as well. Anything else? Maybe I can show you what the self-containment certification looks like on the sticker, looks like on your camper van. As I close the back, you can have a look at what that looks like. All right, very lovely designs here. So yeah, you want to be getting a self-contained camper van if you do want to be camping in places for free, and what they call in New Zealand is freedom camping. You can't just do that in any vehicle. It has to be with a vehicle with this certification, and usually with this sticker on it. So that is, yeah, all the information on that is on nzpocketguide.com if you want to learn more about self-containment. All right, so that ends our camper van tour. So you know all the sort of things that are usually included in a typical camper van rental in New Zealand. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to subscribe, like the video, and we have more useful tips like this on the channel. And until next time, travel awesome.
And the last thing I'm going to mention is that we're on Patreon. There is plenty of perks for you. Make sure to check the comment section of this video, where we put plenty of links. That's it. Bye bye guys.
See ya.